know the process of transferring from one school to another when you landed at SMU, and I'm sure there was a transition period for you to get comfortable with your leader.
Right.
Was it a similar process for you here? And did the first transfer help you in this process?
Yeah, I think the transfer process from OU to SMU definitely helped a little bit, just because it's different guys, different culture going into a new one. But the fact that I started for 2 years at SMU and did some things offensively definitely helped me just having credibility coming in here, because I've been successful in the offense that we run. So I think that's just kind of the difference between the two, but there's some overlap for sure.
Your coaches have also said, though, in addition to the fact that you proved you could play, that you came in and didn't do a lot of talking, that you felt that you needed to kind of lead by example.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just walk into a culture that you're not part of and bark orders. You gotta build relationships, build trust, respect, and go from there. And I think if you ask the guys now, they would say I'm a lot more vocal now than I was in January.
What was your thought process after the season in terms of whether coming back to SMU, transferring somewhere, preparing for the draft? How did you kind of bounce back and forth there, and what ultimately made your decision?
I was about 90% sure I was going to go put my name in the draft and do the whole pro route. I got some feedback from some scouts and teams about where I would be drafted, and I wasn't super fired up about the feedback. And Coach Longo and Coach Fickle got in touch, and it was kind of an opportunity, a fit that I thought I shouldn't pass up, and allowed me to show what I have on a Power 5 playing field, and kind of show them that I can do what I did, in the American. I can do it as well in the Big Ten.
Been another one quarterback since spring practice started, but what do you think you've been able to do through practices that's allowed you to have some success?
Just continuity between me and the offensive line and our receivers, really. You have to have snaps with each other to build that trust and that connection between me and my guys, and I think that's something we've kind of built off of since the first day, going into practice 9 tomorrow. So that's something that we've all gotten better at.
You had a prior relationship with Phil. What's that like between you guys, and why is he somebody you wanted to come play for?
I think our relationship is awesome. He's a really good coach. I think he's top offensive guy in college football and NFL, and that's a big reason why I'm here, is to play under him, being a really successful offense. And like you said, I knew him prior. At high school when he was at Ole Miss, I was close to committing to him there, and so it's kind of crazy how it comes full circle.
How close were you to going to Ole Miss, and what kind of made your decision?
That was like 8 years ago, but 7 years ago. But it was. Ole Miss was kind of far from home a little bit. They had some stuff going on there that ultimately I didn't think it was in my best interest to step into, which I'm glad I didn't, because they had some stuff go down right after. But I don't regret anything about my journey and my time at OU and SMU. I don't have any regrets, and I've enjoyed my journeys.
Had you and Phil kept in touch at all in the ensuing years, or had y'all not talked for a while up until you were in the?
No, I didn't talk to him while I was at OU or SMU. I think that's against the rules.
You could have just not socially. You could have.
Yeah. No, I haven't kept up with him through the 5 years that I was at OU and SMU.
Having competed against Coach Fickle's teams in the past, how would you describe what the characteristics of these teams are, and do you see that kind of rubbing off here?
Of course, highly successful. They fly around. They finish with an attitude. They do. So the 3 safety stuff is kind of the new fad thing to do for defenses, but they have a wrinkle in theirs that allows them to be, I think, more successful than other three safety teams. And him and Coach Tressel and the rest of those guys have been very successful defensively. They led the nation in a lot of things, so I expect nothing less from them.
Where do you want to take this program as a into a new era?
Championship status. That's it. Win championships.
How would you describe Phil Longo as a quarterbacks coach?
I think he's the perfect balance of easygoing and, having a sense of urgency. I think there's a healthy balance between the two with him. In the meeting room, he's pretty laid back, cracking jokes, watching film. But when we're talking business, it's business. When we get out in the field, we get to work. We don't mess around, and we're here to get better. So there's a healthy balance between the two that allows his quarterbacks to be so successful. I firmly believe Coach Fickell's going to win a national championship here. So you got 1 year to do it. That's right.
What's it been like building chemistry with all the new receivers?
And it's been fun. Like I was saying earlier, it takes repetition. It doesn't just come, overnight. Over the winter, the hours that we spent in here throwing, getting to know each other, on the football level. And then through spring practice, I think, through 8 practices, you can see kind of where we started day one and now where we are now as far as having continuity together. And I think it's something that we're definitely growing in the right direction.
Playing against Cincinnati the last couple of years, playing against a Fickell coach team, what did that kind of do for your respect for him, and just how did that have any impact on your decision at all as well?
He's been a top dog in that league for a couple of years. So yeah, I have the utmost respect for what he's done. Defensively, offensively, special teams, everything, because they did it all well. They took a non-Power 5 team to the playoff and played Alabama close. I think he's one of the best coaches in college football. So that's for sure something I weighed in on to coming here.
This offense is going to be different, something different than it's been traditionally done. Just what do you feel like the ceiling for the group, and what do you guys to do in the fall eventually?
Under Coach Longo's lead, I don't think there is a ceiling for this offense. Our offensive staff, along with the guys that are here, have really adapted like they've been doing it for years now. Watching practice, you wouldn't think that they haven't ran an up-tempo, air raid offense. So I'm really proud of how they have adapted from the traditional offense they've been running. I don't think there's a ceiling for us.
What is that you like from what you've seen? You said it doesn't look like they're adapting to a new offense. Where do you see it? Where do you see that in examples?
Just execution. Execution, playing fast is not something that they were used to. And, watching practice and how highly our offensive line and receivers and running backs are executing, you can't tell that they haven't been in this kind of offense for very long.
And when you're learning an offense, like everybody learns offenses differently, what are some of the keys for you? When you dive into something new?
Yeah. Learning offenses, it's just time in the film room. Time learning from the guy who created it, Coach Longo. I think that's the key, is just putting in the hours to understand, his verbiage, how he wants it done, what he calls things. Like Coach Riley and the other, Coach Lincoln Riley, and Coach Garrett Riley, and Coach Lashley, and all those guys, we all run air raid. And a lot of stuff is overlap as far as plays and different schemes and stuff a little bit. It's just called differently and signaled differently, communicated differently. So that's something I just have to, sit in with Coach Longo and learn what he says and how he calls it. Put that in my brain.
A little more common in this day and age with the portal, but how do you go about doing that? Kind of becoming a leader when you're still adapting to new surroundings yourself.
So coming in, you can't. I'm not used to the culture in January. Now I am now, but in January I came in and I didn't know a whole lot about the guys, the locker room, the culture. So I think that's a good time for me to understand. Let the guys show me a little bit, show me how things are done. How traditions are done and everything. And once I understand that and I gain their respect and trust because of my work ethic and how much winning means to me, that then I can start to lead and I can lead those guys to success. But at first, I think it's about understanding, growing relationships and trust, growing respect, and then going from there.
You mentioned those leaders and the culture in this location. What's different about this culture versus other places you've been, and the culture they've had versus this one?
I think the guys here are I mean, I'm not going to say the guys weren't hungry where I was, because that's not true, but the guys here are very hungry to win. This Wisconsin football has always been a winning culture, and these guys are dying to hold that standard upright. And so that's just kind of something I've noticed ever since being here, that these guys are just completely bought into what these coaches want us to do, and they're willing to do whatever they can to uphold the standard of winning.
With Braden Locke, just I know that he's been getting left out of the second team match. Just how is he starting to, what you're seeing as a veteran quarterback, seeing him digest this offense and him it's translating and making plays on the field?
He's done a great job. He's prepared really well. He's really smart. He understands where the ball needs to go, and he understands how the scheme is being run. And whenever you understand that at a high level, it makes it a lot easier to execute, which he's done a great job of.
Yeah, Coach Longo asked you guys quarterbacks to do something a little bit different than a lot of quarterback coaches with that straight drop back.
Oh, yeah.
How have you adjusted to that, and what do you see like the pros and cons of that so far?
I've liked it. Like you said, it's a little bit different, but way back in the day, that's how they dropped.
That's 80s, right?
Yeah. So I think just having a quick drop, being a little flatter with the shoulders, it allows you to kind of see the field a little bit better and not close off your backside. So I think that has a lot of benefits to doing that. I've liked it.
You mentioned the defense. Just Trust is throwing a lot of different looks at you guys. Just what's that? How challenging is that as a quarterback? What's that like?
It's fun going against him. I think he's one of the top defensive guys. I really do. And so if we can execute at a high level against these guys, then I think we'll be able to execute against anybody. So a big thing that Coach Fickle always says is iron sharpens iron, which is a real buzzword kind of thing. But really, whenever you think about it, whenever we're going up against the best defensive minds maybe like in the country, it helps us. Like there's no downside of that. I think it's really great for us to go against someone so good every day.
You mentioned the NFL feedback we got a couple months ago. Just where are you hoping to take another step this year?
Show them that I can do what I did at SMU. I can do that in the best country in the nation. I mean, the best conference in the nation.